Hello, welcome back, and thank you as always for joining me here today. The most important thing, and I know I often say this frequently at the outset of a video, the most important thing that you could ever offer anyone anywhere is your dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice. So, the very fact that you're paying attention to this today says quite a lot. And I hope that you get how important that is. So, for your dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice, and just for being here, I thank you. We're going to talk today about simplicity and mind and the things that scare us a lot. Scare us a lot. Isn't that exciting? This is what the spiritual path, in fact, is all about. It makes no difference what traditions, if any, you were raised in, whether it was one of the world's major religious traditions or something else. It makes no difference what you are currently practicing right now, if anything. A Course in Miracles is a self-study curriculum. We learn at our own pace, under the guidance of our inner teacher, who directs us. All right. The ideas themselves, and by the way, this is true of all spirituality, are very simple. These ideas are disarmingly simple. They are. They're disarming. And that is the point, is it not? It's this very simplicity that we resist. It's the obvious that we deny, and it is the obvious that we're most definitely afraid of. It creates all kinds of situations here in the world. And when we first set out to study and practice this particular curriculum, a self-study curriculum, we find ourselves impeding our own progress all over the place, left and right, in a manner of speaking, because there is no left and right. All of the time, we're getting in our own way. And one of the most common pitfalls uh, is the fact that we complicate things so much with our intellectually trained, precise, razor-like, scalpel-like, so-called rational thinking mind. This is a very worthwhile discussion to have because it is a common obstacle for course students to believe that they have to understand every single thing this 1,000-page plus book says with the intellectual, rational thinking mind. The same mind that we worship in the world. We truly exalt it, don't we? Elevate it, raise it to a level of prestige and esteem that has very few equals at all in this world. I mean, we bow down and prostrate before it. We really do. And it is this mind that slices and dices and parses out our experience into billions and billions, trillions maybe, of component parts, always dividing and subdividing, categorizing and subcategorizing, naming things and naming them again and giving them sub-names, classification systems, Linnaean taxonomy, for example, kingdom, phylum, et cetera, all the way down to species and subspecies of subspecies. Think of an outline in an academic paper with its multiple component parts and delineations, each one apparently separate from the other. Slice, dice, separate. Slice, dice, separate. That is what this mind that we so esteem does. With this mind, we take material like A Course in Miracles, and we do something that's, in fact, quite natural based on our conditioning. We attempt to understand it intellectually. That is through no fault of our own. We've been conditioned to worship at the temple of this rational thinking mind. So the issue with that may or may not become clear at first as we attempt to grapple and struggle with these ideas. What we grapple with and struggle with is our own conditioning. We complicate things here in the world, and truth is disarmingly simple. We want to keep our armor. And we discover that the intellectual thinking mind can only take us so far. And it's very, very much the case when you're studying and practicing this course that this thinking mind will only take you so far. Is it important to understand what Jesus is telling us here in the course? Well, yes. Yes, that most certainly has value. Is it the end all be all? Not even close. Oh no, not at all. See, the actual learning takes place through our practical application and experience. Remember, this is a self-study curriculum. How do we learn best? Well, we take these ideas, some of which I'm going to talk about in the next few minutes, and we apply them. We put them into practice in our daily lives with deliberate effort, and we see what happens. What you'll find happens when you really and truly put these ideas into practice in your daily life is that your experience will show you that the ideas are true. We learn by doing. Practical application. Our experience teaches us, our experience shows us, our experience proves to us that these ideas are true. Want proof? I'm so glad. Prove it to yourself. That's how we really learn. Now, much has been said, much has been written about this course and the so-called metaphysics of it, the breakdown of it, and dissection and sub-dissection of what does it actually mean. And to be honest with you, so I've not read all of these commentaries. Some of them are quite erudite, and I've found them very, very helpful. Others, well, not so much. So it's up to you how much of this you wish to take in and do it under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, your inner teacher, who may very well say clearly, read this article, watch this video. And I hope that he's saying, watch this video. Thanks for watching. Watch this video, subscribe, things like that, of course. But we do it under the guidance of our inner teacher who directs us. So let's not denigrate the rational thinking mind. It has a use. What use is that? Well, give it over to your inner teacher and let the Holy Spirit run that show. It is important to understand some of these ideas. So let's simplify. Let's simplify some of these ideas. I want to talk about a few of them here. Number one, God is, period. God is. There's nothing else to say, but because we need explanations and words, let's talk about that. This is a statement of truth. Truth is, in fact, beyond statements. It's beyond all words, language, and all of the concepts that we here in the world use and employ. All of them. This is as close as we get in words to truth. God is. What's implicit here? Only God is. That's very important. All else is illusion. What is God? Love, wholeness, perfect oneness, and union. That's all that is. All else is illusion. A simple idea, and one that we resist. Second simple idea, and one that we patently resist. There is no separation of any kind. Only God is, remember. There is no separation. Of course, we resist this because we've chosen to see ourselves as individual human beings. We've chosen to see ourselves as self-sustaining survival units, competing for what we deem to be scarce, limited resources on a spinning, wobbling ball of rock, hurtling through space at who knows how many kilometers an hour. Quickly. It's fast. So we think, right? We've taken this to be our home. So we see all of the other 8 billion of these as separate from us. We see ourselves as separate from God. We're not. We see ourselves as separate from everyone else. We're not. We see ourselves as separate from animals and insects and fish and microscopic life forms and everything else that lives. We're not. There is no separation of any kind, period. No separation. Who and what are you? You know you do. And it's okay to know that. An idea that we resist. We're one with God. We're one with our Creator. Like extends like. Love extends love. God extends Himself. This is how we were created. It's how we create. This extension of love is limitless, endless, and eternal. It is all there is. An idea we're very prone to resist when we see ourselves as individuals. Here's one that's very important and simple. Idea number 3. Ideas leave not their source. I'll say that again. Ideas leave not their source. In other words, thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker. They do not exit the mind. So the world that we see is actually our fear and our guilt projected outward. It's still in our mind. Thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker. Ideas leave not their source. So here's something. You are the thought of God. So am I. So's your ex, your worst political enemy. They're the thought of God. We're known here in A Course in Miracles by that exact name, the thoughts of God. Thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker. Ideas, and we're ideas, leave not their source, capital S. Simple idea, one that we're prone to resist. Another simple idea, a fourth, healing is of the mind. It is. It's of the mind. That is what this course is, a course in mind training. If that doesn't sound sexy, great, so be it. If that sounds very hot, sexy, and exciting, great, so be it. We heal the mind. That's what needs healing. You'll notice that this course does not concern itself with healing bones and joints and illnesses in the physical body. It does not concern itself with acquiring wealth or status or prestige in the world. It doesn't concern itself with showing up with a giant bank account and padding said bank account. It's not about that. It's not about stuff or money or power or prestige. It's about healing the mind. So we're invited to focus on that. Again, something we deeply resist. So what do we do? Because we know that we resist all of these ideas. Well, first of all, we pay attention. We watch and we remain as aware as we possibly can at all times, or when we remember to do it, and pay attention. And when we catch ourselves judging and blaming, then we forgive. We catch ourselves. In this sense, life is a living, breathing, waking meditation. If you've ever done a formal seated meditation practice, you'll be very familiar with the classic instruction, which is to sit as calmly as you're capable, as calmly as you're able, and to watch the breath, or if it's sound that you're focusing on, the words of a guide, a mantra, something that you're visualizing, whatever the object of meditation is for you, place your awareness on that and just let your thoughts come and go and don't follow after them. Just keep your awareness on this object. When you notice yourself distracted, thinking about a sporting event or yesterday's lunch, bring your mind back to the object of meditation. In life, when you notice yourself carried away and off your base, so to speak, off of equilibrium, so to speak, judging, blaming, bring your awareness back to the practice of true forgiveness, which is the practical centerpiece of this course. Along the way, a very important lesson, and this again is true for the entirety of the spiritual path, is learning to relax and trust. This intellectual, rational thinking mind is not relaxed, and it is deeply mistrustful, isn't it? Of course it is. It's based off the erroneous belief, the fallacy of separation, which has never occurred. So what must we do when we think it's real and we've made it real for ourselves? Pay attention to teachings just such as these from our inner teacher and learn to relax and trust our inner teacher's guidance. Yeah. Give everything over to the Holy Spirit, your entire experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The bad and the ugly, he will help you reinterpret. Everything. Learn to relax and trust. Scary at first, scary as hell, actually, at first. It can be terrifying because this rational, intellectual thinking mind that we've been so conditioned to adore and prostrate to and worship is deeply afraid. It is invested in separation after separation after separation. So, what do we do with this? Well, give it over to the Holy Spirit and let Him use it. Now, the Holy Spirit is not a foreign power. The Holy Spirit is not exterior to us. There's nothing outside of us. God is, remember? There's nothing outside you. The Holy Spirit is part of our mind, that part of our mind that knows who and what we really are and will help us to experience this should we let him. He will help us to get rid of all of our drama and baggage, which, as it turns out, are no more than illusions, like a passing cloud that obscures our vision. He will help us remove those if only we let him. So there are many very, very simple ideas here presented in this course. We're the ones that introduce all of the complication. And the message today, you don't have to complicate it. Use this highly trained, rational, intellectual thinking mind as a tool. Give it over to the Holy Spirit for his use. Give your profession over to the Holy Spirit for his use. Give your doctorate degrees, if you have them, over to the Holy Spirit for his use. Give your entire experience, your relationships, over to the Holy Spirit for his use. And sit back, relax, and trust in his guidance. That's what we do. It's this we resist the most. So it's this lesson that's poignant today and every day. Very, very important. There's a reason you're watching this right now. Something has been said that you need to hear. And you'll be the only one that will know what that is. I myself never have any idea. I have no idea what's going to appear to come out of my mouth during these broadcasts. I mean, when we go through specific passages in the text, I have at least a backdrop. But even then, I don't have a clue. Remember, we do this course, which is self-study, under the guidance of our inner teacher. My role is simply to serve as a guide and as a helper for you. My hope is to help clarify some of this material, which can seem very, very complex. It is not and does not have to be seen as such. So my role here is to simplify, to simply show up and to share the Holy Spirit with you, to share the love of the Holy Spirit with you through these broadcasts. And should you have any questions or items that you'd like to discuss, to help with that discussion. So to the extent that you have questions and comments, please feel welcome to leave them here. And again, the subscription prompt is this arrow in the corner of your screen. Please subscribe, hit that, click that, hover over that, subscribe and join us if you have not, because we'd love to have you. There's always a demand, isn't there, for peace of mind? There is. You're watching this video. There's always a market for peace of mind, and I will do whatever I can to help you get that, because that's what we all want. All right. So thank you for tuning in. I will speak to you all very, very soon.